Have you heard the words "you've changed"? It's often said with this negative connotation as if there's something wrong with growing and changing. There is nothing about life that is stagnant. Just as each second ticks by, every day is new, and like it or not, every year your birthday brings with it a new age. If you aren't growing or changing on your own terms, life has a way of forcing its hand. Some really struggle with change as it can be for the worst, but it can also be for the better. Personal development is my jam. I'm all for growth and evolution because it's gonna happen regardless. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather be in the driver's seat guiding my own growth than being at the mercy of life and living by default. You are not a victim, and life is not happening to you, it's happening for you. You are a powerful co-creator. You have the power to live your life by design. Decide today you are going to live your life by design and not by default. You don't have to be reactive to everything life throws at you. You do have a say. You can make some choices. You get to decide. You may not be able to choose what happens to you, but you do get to decide how you participate in it. When you stand in your power, you are unstoppable. Ready for me to be your personal mindset coach? Work with me one-on-one. Let's let go of what's holding you back and get the mindset you need so you can chase your dreams while doing all the things. You don't have to just dream about the life you love. You can actually live the life of your dreams. With my simple strategies, you can go from imagining to manifesting, from just trying to thriving. Let's rewrite your story now. Tap the link in the show notes and apply now. Your next level you is awaiting. Let's go on this journey together. In the midst of doing all the things, you can do all things and chase your dreams. Stay encouraged as we go on this journey called life, tackling everything that comes our way while we shine our light despite any circumstances we face. No more downplaying or dimming your light, because through the good, the bad, and everything in between, together we can encourage over everything. Hey, encourager. I hope you are loving this behind the scenes look at some of the topics and frameworks as I pull back the curtain on the coaching I do with my one-on-one clients, the elite encouragers. Hey, I am a firm believer we are all encouragers. You encourage others as well as yourself. And you even take it to an elite level when you work with me as your coach. I really get to take these concepts and really work through them specifically to you and not just generally speaking like I do here on the podcast or wherever else you catch me on the socials. I sit right beside you and help you get unstuck and out of your own way so you can chase your dreams while doing all the things. Coaching is not only something I love to do, it's truly one of my greatest gifts, but it's really something that has saved me throughout my life, especially when my mom passed away. There was absolutely no way I was going to move through that grief on my own. I had no idea what the new normal was and what it looked like because I just had no clue of what to do. I was so lost and completely disconnected from who I was. It was grief counseling that saved me. Later along my journey, I also work with a coach who is literally my angel on earth. There's this quote that I love, and it's, "When the student is ready, the teacher will appear." I love this quote with my whole heart because I feel like my coaches really came to me during a season of my life when my heart was open and receptive to heal. It really changed the way that I was growing and evolving out of those seasons. And it's because of that transformation that was so incredibly helpful in my own life that I'm really dedicated to serve and pay it forward. As a leader in corporate America for almost 2 decades, coaching is for show my niche. So I hope this message serves you because it brings me such great joy to make sure that there are free resources available. And this is a platform that I can teach and share ideas and hopefully spark something in you that helps you along your journey. A lot of people talk about they want things to change, but most of them, they're not willing to actually do anything to make any actual change. I can say that because I used to be those people. For years, my best friend and I would say, "This is our year." Literally, we have the holiday cards to prove it, okay? Yet, we did not do anything except complain. The only thing that was changing is that it was a different day. So, huge kudos to you if you're actually willing to do what it takes to make change in your life. One of the most common things I've noticed in working with people over the years, and even in my own life, is we either live by default or design. When you live by default, life is just kind of happening to you, or at least that's the way you see it. You may just go with the flow or even be oblivious to what's going on around you. And there's even a possible chance that you just think this is the way that it is and it's always going to be. There may even be some victim mentality happening, thinking that life just happens and you can't do anything about it because of the circumstances that you're faced with. If you find yourself in this space, I encourage you to shift into considering life is actually happening for you. Sometimes things happen to prompt or motivate you to make a different choice, go in a new direction, or take some sort of action unlike anything you've done in the past. You keep facing that same old scenario and can't figure out why. Literally because you are being given an opportunity to handle it differently. This is what we like to call the definition of insanity. When you keep making the same choice and expecting to get different results. You really aren't learning the lessons that you need to learn here and apply the knowledge obtained to go forth in a new direction. All things work out for your good, despite how they might appear right now. When in default mode, you may find yourself settling or staying in that mediocre zone. Actual years of your life can go this way if you are just numb to it or simply complacent. But it doesn't have to be this way. There is another option, another way of being, which is living your life by design. Life doesn't have to live you. The current status or landscape of your life doesn't have to be or stay this way forever. You can take ownership of everything in your life and design what the next stage of your life will be, look like, and more importantly, feel the way you want it to feel. It's so easy to get caught up in what is, but are you going to complain about it or go be about it? I want to be surrounded with people who want to go out and be about it. Be about the life you design and not just the one that's handed to you. Yes, it sucked being a single mom with a baby on each hip, but I had a choice. I was either going to spend the rest of my life being defined by that, or I was going to spend the rest of my life defining for myself what my life would be a representation of. I don't want my life to be defined by one single moment in time. Me becoming a single mom wasn't the only thing that I am. I am a person, a woman, a sister, friend, a girlfriend, or what I like to call myself, an unwed wife, because God made me a wife. Now, let me tell you something right quick, okay? God made me a wife. I just haven't linked up with my husband yet, okay? It's all about perspective. My mindset and how I operate is that of a wife. I'm not just thinking about girlfriend tings because that's not how God made me. When I had that realization, that's actually when I met my boyfriend. And because his parents were together for longer than I had been alive, his mindset was, I'm looking for a wife, not a girlfriend. You see, when you level up the way you see yourself, the world around you levels up. When I stopped lowering my expectations and accepting less than what I wanted or deserved to have, is when my man walked through the door. At this moment in time, he is my boyfriend, but he treats me like a wife. It even says wife next to my contact name in his phone. And that is not by default, that is by design. When you step into who you really are, radiate your natural born light, the world simply illuminates your reflection right back to you. You are worthy of self-care every day, not just on a Sunday. As you do all the things and chase your dreams, self-care has to be a major part of your day-to-day life. Giving yourself what you need is the key to being able to give everybody else what they need. If you're having a hard time making sure your self-care is on your list, get all the deets in the Encourager's Insider Guide to Self-Care. These free, easy DIY tips for simple ways to make self-care a part of your daily routine, plus some bonus goodies. Get your free Encourager's Guide to Self-Care because you deserve to be a priority on your list. Grab it right on the blog or the show.encourageovereverything.com/self-care freebie. No more being last on your list. Grab it today and give yourself the gift of self-care. So, my question to you is, are you living by default or by design? Are you complaining about what is, or are you designing what will be? Where is your focus, attention, and energy going? Are you more tuned in to what you don't want, or are you investing in what you do want? Life is not happening to you. Life is simply a reflection of what is going on inside your mind, spirit, and soul. My friend, it is hard to take this kind of accountability. I am not going to sit here and say this is easy. You might even be sitting there thinking to yourself, okay, Letty, it's so easy for you. You're a life coach. You study this. You're so different from me. If you sound like that, it's okay. And if you don't sound like that and you feel like I'm not representing you correctly right here in this moment, give me a little grace, okay? But let me tell you, in all my humble humanness, I am you and you are me. I have been broken down on my knees, broken down to my knee pads, felt lost, completely broken, absolutely undone. There were times in my life I was utterly broken to what I thought was the point of no repair. The only difference is I hit my enough point. I had enough of thinking that life was happening to me, or I had no control over my life, or even just knowing who I was. Instead of looking at relationships outside of myself, I got intentional and focused on my relationship with me. And that is when my whole life changed. It was not easy. I mean, if I had some ingredients on the outside of my package, it would read like I came with some sadness, lots of tears, sleepless nights, walking aimlessly through life, wondering why me. The difference came when I started asking, why not me? Why did I think I was so special as to not feel the human experience? I was not too good to experience gut-wrenching heartbreak and total loss to where it was categorized as a total loss. I wasn't broken just for me. I was broken for you. My pain serves such a greater purpose to heal others' pain, and so does yours. Stop looking at your life as if you have zero control. poor you, the worst things always happen to you. It's that type of low vibrational thinking that puts you on the same frequency for the worst things to happen to you. So stop calling in the worst into your life and start expecting the best for your life. I say it often, speak life over your life, speak life into your life. You have so much more control than you give yourself credit for. When you decide to stand up and be the victor, get at me. I'll wait. Stop looking to somebody else to change your life when it's your life. Stop expecting other people to act accordingly when you don't require them to. Stop waiting on somebody else to give you the solution when you are the solution. Design your life. My friend, I care in the sense of holding space and having compassion for your past. If you need to heal from that, do it. Invest in your healing. Okay. Now let's set that aside because, in a sense, it's not even about what's happened to you in the past. It absolutely has no bearing on what can happen to you in your future. So, what are you building, creating, envisioning, and designing for the next phase of your life? You will rise in spite of and because of whatever has happened to you. Get clear on what you want. You've experienced the worst of how it can be, so you could get clarity on what it is that you want. No more being caught up in the vicious cycle of what was or even what is. What do you see for your health and well being, relationships, finances, your contributions to your family, community, and the world? What does the next year of your life look like? Who do you have to become in order to make it happen? Who will you be next year? When you take full ownership and your rightful position as the co creator of your life, you guide your own growth. You realize growth happens on your terms because you create them. What do you need to do to get yourself together in all the areas of your life? Now, if you need an overhaul on life, honey, let's back it up a bit. Let's not overwhelm this situation, okay? Let's first decide the area that needs the most attention. And what is the one thing you can do today towards improvement? This is how we make progress at its finest. Don't get overwhelmed in trying to do it all. Set yourself up for success and build those small wins and build them into even greater victories. What do you need to learn? Skills or capabilities do you need to gain? You get to guide your growth. It isn't just life dictating to you what you'll learn or the skills you need. It's you. If you need help on figuring out what this is, what resources do you need to tap into? Do you need to get a coach or take courses or classes? Do you need a fitness coach, a nutritionist, or a medical team? Do you need an accountant or a board of directors? Whose support do you need help from along the way? It takes a village to raise a child, so why do we think that it doesn't take a village to support us? Who is your village? This is how you start creating a plan for your own growth and defining it on your terms. You don't have to be reactive to everything life throws at you. You do have a say. You can make some choices. You get to decide. You may not be able to choose what happens to you, but you do get to decide how you participate in it. When you stand in your power, you are unstoppable. There is this notion that we're supposed to stay the same. I mean, there are things about you that will remain the same. My favorite ice cream is still Rocky Road because that was the first ice cream I fell in love with as a kid. That's still the same to this day. Now, it doesn't mean that I don't have other flavors that I love, like Neapolitan, for example. Pardon me for my white chicks moment. Thank you. My point is that while there will still be some things about you at your core that are still the same, it is okay to grow, level up, and evolve. So when someone says you've changed, it's often with a negative connotation. But in all actuality, we were never meant to stay the same. So the next time that you hear the words you've changed, by God, I hope so. I hope the next time that you hear those words, you're happy to hear it. You'll see it as an accomplishment of how you've grown. Change is inevitable. Seconds tick by, the days turn into months, and whether you celebrate it or not, every birthday brings with it a new age. So the question then becomes, have you changed for the better or for the worst? A couple of my favorite quotes, one of them comes from Albert Einstein. Once you stop learning, you start dying. And Tony Robbins said, if you're not growing, you are dying. The seasons change. Evolution will happen with or without you. We've seen it happen in businesses during the pandemic. Some companies went out of business because they did not evolve with the marketplace. Some companies went to even higher heights because they adapted and went with the evolution of its customers into new days that are now upon us. Your life is your business. So if you look at it like a company, which business model are you following? I want to leave you with this. In the Bible, it talks about faith without works is dead. All it takes, my friend, is the faith of a mustard seed. You only need a little because it really does a lot. You are a beautiful co-creator. You get to design your life and your growth. It doesn't always have to be at the mercy of life, but with the mercy already granted to you by the Creator or whomever it is that you believe in. Whip out your journal and start designing your life. I hope this message really connects to your heart today. It is truly my wish for you to design your life and no longer live by default. Encourage over your growth because together we can encourage over everything. Encourager, thank you so much for tuning in. You are literally inside my dream come true. If you enjoyed this episode, here's some ways you can say thank you. Share it with a few friends. You are a true encourager, and spreading encouraging messages to lift each other up, that's what we do. Leave a review, light me up with some stars, and share your feedback because this is how we get more encouragement out there. To keep the conversation going or to connect with other fellow encouragers, head on over to the EOE After Party. Hey! It's a free space where we can connect and support one another as we chase our dreams while doing all the things. Check out today's show notes for today's sponsors or how to become an elite encourager, along with all the ways to stay connected. Or meet me on Instagram at Encourage Over Everything. Your support is such a gift. From my heart to yours, thank you, my friend. Until next time, I'm sending you love, light, and loads of positivity because together we can encourage over everything.